from Boston. I've been to the Bay Area more than once. This time I've been here about 15 years.
Wow.
And like before that, I was in Boston for about 8 years. Um, just before that, I had gotten shot by accident on purpose type of thing. My
Oh man.
brother, which is a totally different other story, but it was a hunting rifle, and it took like part of my stomach, a kidney, part of my intestine. My pancreas is gone. Or no, a slice of my pancreas was taken out, but my spleen is gone. But I
Wow.
still have my appendix. So I got 1,300, and then like I get paid 1,000 tomorrow. I just pay my $300 worth of bills, and then I'll have $2,000, which I'm on SSI.
Hmm.
So it's like that's from like I was supposed to be on physical disability, but it was like turned into a like where like we'll give you the mental disability if you don't ask for the other one, or is going to be dragged out in a really long like administrative law like court case,
Mm.
like which would have to deal with a federal administrative law judge.
Mm.
And I just said, okay, we'll take just the crazy money, and then it's like easier on them when they're just paying you for crazy because they'll just pay you 1,000. But if they're paying you for disability, like for actual, well, like it's all disability. It's just they're paying you for being crazy. It's like only $1,000 and like $18, the
Yeah.
1,018 or 1,020.
Yeah.
And then if you're on disability too, physical disability, and you're getting both,
Hmm.
it's something like 13 or 14. I'm not sure, but like the reason I get 1,018 though is because I'm homeless. Like I get
Hmm.
an extra $100 because I can't cook like
Oh.
inside. So
Oh
like
yeah.
what, or I don't have an oven. Like
Yeah.
you can have a stove top or a hot plate, but if you don't have an oven, like because some places you could rent that are like single room occupancies in the
Yeah.
city,
Hmm.
like they'll be like a room that's like a hotel room and you share a bathroom down the hall.
Yeah.
And if you're, you know, a hot plate's a luxury in a place like that. You don't have,
Yeah.
like, they don't even have a microwave oven. But the thing with disability is if you don't have an oven, period, like it doesn't matter if it's a microwave or a hot plate because they're not really considered real ovens.
Hmm.
If you don't have an oven, you can get $100 more.
Yeah.
So then that's why, like, if I moved into a place, it'd be like 900 instead of, you
Oh.
know,
Yeah.
I get like 100
Yeah.
or 100. I get 920 or
Yeah.
918. Every month I might find a house, but like it wouldn't be in Mill Valley. It'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, somewhere like, you know, like maybe back in West Oakland where I
Yeah.
was at one point, you know, or more than one point. I actually started at a hostel that doesn't exist anymore,
Really.
which was like, and it was great. It was 2003. I had come out here to settle some business that was long overdue, and it was like 8 years overdue
Hmm.
because I had stayed away for 8 years, but I had been here 2 times before that 8 years, and like I used to come here and go to Grateful Dead shows and stupid, you know, not I don't call it stupid stuff, but,
Yeah. That's,
and I was living at this hostel called the International Students Hostel. It was on like 8 and Folsom, down in Soma, and eventually like they gave me the housekeeping job, and it was like a hostel, but uh, it was like a single room occupancy hotel turned into a hostel where like each room had about 4 beds, and the it was like $20 a night, but like it turned into like 400 a month or something like that, or something, and then like it was just at the time South of Market area was being rehabbed to be like just maybe 3 years into its rehab because it was like still like nicknamed Crank Alley or whatever at one point. Like the area where I was in was like Crank Alley, and it was just like some of the like weirdest stuff. You could like look out the window at night and just know that was crystal meth induced. It was economical once they gave me the housekeeping job because it was under the table. I'd still get paid money,
hmm.
and at that point it was like 800 a month because it was or like little under or over 800
Yeah.
because it was like disability only goes up with the cost of living.
Hmm.
So it's like
Were you still getting disability
yeah,
then?
yeah.
Okay.
There was a good like after being the housekeeping and like
Yeah.
I could do like I just did the job like it was like 2 hours a day, and I could live for free and then still get my check. And then
Yeah.
I did that for about a year, and then I moved into Berkeley from there.
Mhm.
And then I got kind of like, it's very easy to get messed up on substances when you're like outside. So
Yeah.
like some of the some of the good ones and the bad ones. But like right when I got shot, like I had part of my stomach, my
Yeah.
intestine, and my bowel was moved over because I had to use a colostomy bag,
Mhm.
which was, we're not gonna get too far into that one. But 4 months later, they reversed that, and the plumbing works fine now. So like,
Well, anyhow,
I do have a phone. And
Mhm.
I get paid every month that $1,000, and then
Yeah.
like I buy his like like 30-pound dog food, and which I got somebody else paid for it yesterday, which is cool, man. Because like the money that I have to pay for my like I have to keep a PO box like for my mail.
Yeah.
And so as long as I have a mailing address, I can keep my disability, get a car registered, stuff like that. And the like for as long as they allow you to do that. The thing with me is like because of the stomach part of the stomach's out, and the intestinal and the bowel like thing is like I have this there's a bacterium that your stomach has called Candida, and
Mhm.
it's in like yogurt, stuff like that. It's like acidophilus' cousin, stuff like that. But it's a bacterium that's yeast based. It's like, and it's inside your stomach, and it helps your digestion. But if it overgrows from too much sugar, too much carbohydrates, which is going to break the sugar, so it's technically sugar. Like the yeast can overgrow. You want it at about 20% in your stomach, but like if it gets over 20, it's like a lot of people, it gets over 20 because the American diet's like real sugary. Everything's like starch and meat, and then the starch breaks the sugar. All the carbs break the sugar, and it can overgrow and get into your intestines and your bowel, and then it can mycelium out and give you this. I don't know. I think the right term is a candida overgrowth, and you think so, or is it yeast overflow? Either way, they're both like correct terms, I think. And the dogs, like, they eat the worst food in the world if you look at the ingredients, but like they're walking around barefoot all the time. They're grounded to the earth. They're getting like earth energy constantly. So it's like they neutralize and ground out more than we do. It's like we're always walking on rubber soles, and like like sitting on something that ain't the ground. Or like we're not gardening anymore. We're like, or we are like, there's a lot of people getting back to like the dirt.
Well, yeah.
So my candida grows
Yeah.
fast because of all the stuff that I've had taken
Yeah.
out. So it's like, and when you get an overgrowth of like 80% of it, like it's like it's most likely infestated all through
Yeah.
you. It's technically a worm from inside you, but like it's not a worm that you like catch from somebody at the gym,
Mhm.
or you're like, it's like it's sugar is like technically, like when alcohol's being made, it's like the yeast is eating sugar, and
Yeah.
its byproduct is the alcohol. So what's going on is like my body has too much yeast, and it's eating absolutely as much sugar as it can from whatever my diet is.
Mhm.
And it's the reason I'm drinking black coffee now, and I also like try to eat alkalytically without acidic stuff,
Yeah.
because it thrives on sugar and acid's acidic anyway. So technically it's an acidic environment more than it's anything else, but it's just acid. Like sugar's really acidic,
Yeah.
and carbs break the sugar, which is really acidic anyway. And I also have a gluten intolerance, which like probably is uh, celiac disease, but like the I've never had the biopsy, but I have I in 2005, like no more 2006 is like when I stopped eating gluten, and
Mhm.
things got better. But then I started eating gluten like gimmick foods, which would like have a lot of carbs and sugar from other carbs instead of wheat wheat gluten, which would be like barley, rye, and wheat, and which is technically almost everything out there that you buy anywhere. Like before I first came to California, I went to Oregon,
Mhm.
and I stayed up in this like area in Southern Oregon that was like very famous for having a lot of communes and stuff.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of older folk who were like very Grateful Deadish too, and
Yeah.
and thank God for it. Like a lot of them taught me how to eat, what to do, and like I was still eating crap food because I was like 19 and not listening to people.
I was
Like, I was kind of like a runaway, throwaway kind of situation, but like at the point I was in Oregon, I was like so like I was kind of a runaway, throwaway with problems from Massachusetts, but none of them mattered because it was before I was 18, and at that point I could have been a state trooper in Oregon and almost was. But like I actually, like when I went to Oregon, I worked at the Oregon Caves National Monument for like a private concession. Technically, it's the same thing as government contracting, but I was a dishwasher. You know, it wasn't like a glorious, like we went to the war and we saved everyone, and I got paid a lot of money and I'm a contractor. Like, no, I did do dishwashing, but I got fed real good, and I met some really good people, and like got to like stay right there in the National Monument, like for so many years. Like the you know, the yeast overgrowth thing didn't happen to me, and the wheat thing, I just didn't know like it was going on, that I had the gluten intolerance thing, and but like as years went by and stuff started to deteriorate and my life was just like really upside down, it was like I started thinking about, well, what did those elders say up in Oregon? They were like, you know, maybe you should stop eating gluten that's in the bread. We were having an argument, and the gun wasn't in play, but the argument was. Yeah, so it was like, that's why I'm saying it's accidentally on purpose.
Yeah.
But like it kind of messed me up. Went through my upper left quadrant up here, and I like it kind of like it was this like little hole in the front, and then it becomes like a really big hole where it comes out, and it was like it hit this one little hit here.
Yeah.
This was the ostomy. This was like my incision. And I had a chest tube here for letting fluid out of my lung, but that's where it came out.
Oh wow.
And then like my neck had to have a tracheotomy. So so it's like when I try to hide my Boston accent, which I'm like normal at doing it now, it's like I don't do the pakika and abidyad. I don't want anybody ever feeling like, oh, I couldn't help him, man, so I feel bad. It's like, don't, man, because it's like, as long as you didn't like hurt me, then there's like it's almost like you did help. Yeah. It's like sometimes people leaving me the fuck alone is like the best help in the world.